Maritime transport is the backbone of international trade and the global economy. Around 90% of world trade is carried out by sea. That's about 11 billion tons of goods transported by ships each year. It's an understatement to say that shipping's capacity to transfer goods and materials from where they are produced to where they will be used is the driving force of modern life as we know it. These goods, transported by ships as cargo, vary greatly in many ways, from raw materials to finished products, down to their physical properties, whether they be solid, liquid, or gas. A great majority of them have been brought to us via maritime transport. That being said, since there are different types of cargo, there are also different types of ships. Some cargoes don't require special treatment and are easy to transport, while others require very specific conditions, making it necessary to design ships that are specialized to handle these types of product. In this video, I'll be giving you an overview of the most common types of cargo ships that are plying the world's oceans. First on the list, and probably the most popular these days, is the container ship. Container ships, box ships, or container carriers are designed to transport standard-sized freight containers. These containers come in two sizes, known as 20-foot equivalent units, abbreviated to TEU, and 40-foot equivalent units, or FEU. Container ships carry them in cellular holds and stacked on the ship's hatch covers. Most of the world's manufactured goods and products are transported using these containers, and as such, on any given ship, the contents of the containers vary widely and can either be non-perishable, in which case it will be stored in a regular container, or perishable, which will then be carried in refrigerated containers. Next on the list, bulk carriers. Dry bulk ships, or simply bulk carriers, are designed to transport solid cargoes in bulk. They are the workhorses of the merchant fleet, transporting the raw materials in massive amounts that enable us to house, heat, and feed our populations and manufacture products. Typical cargo includes grains like wheat, corn, barley, or minerals like iron ore, nickel, coal, salt, sometimes even processed items like steel bars, steel coil, or even scrap metal. The cargo holds are basically huge empty spaces, so anything solid and in large quantity that can fit inside can be transported by bulk carriers. Their identifying feature is a long flat deck with large hatchways which give access to the cargo holds. These are protected by hatch covers that protect the holds from water ingress, which may damage the cargo or make the ship unstable. Smaller bulk carriers are sometimes equipped with their own cargo cranes and are known as geared bulk carriers. Next up, car carriers. Sometimes referred to as car ships, and as the name implies, they are designed to transport cars or automobiles or any other type of land vehicles. The most distinctive feature of car ships is the very high freeboard. It's basically like a floating parking building, having several decks where the cars are parked and lashed in place. It also has a ramp at the stern to facilitate the movement of cars. Next, tanker ships. Tankers are designed to carry liquid cargo in bulk. They can be classified as oil tankers or chemical tankers, or even a combination of both. Oil tankers are designed to carry petroleum products such as crude oil, gasoline, diesel. They have specialized equipment like cargo pumps and also the inert gas system, which in simple terms is the system that prevents the petroleum cargo from igniting and exploding. We'll discuss that in detail in a future episode. Chemical tankers, on the other hand, are designed to carry different types of liquid chemicals. They have their own categories ranging from harmless or even food-grade liquids to downright toxic or corrosive substances like acids and other nasty stuff. One of the main features of chemical tankers is the different materials used in the construction of their cargo tanks. Some tanks are coated and some are made of stainless steel. Some types of chemical tankers have smaller tanks, which enable them to carry smaller parcels of different chemicals at the same time. As we all know, different chemicals react differently to other materials, so the compatibility of the cargo and the materials in the cargo tanks, as well as the cleanliness, are a few of the main points of concern to avoid contamination and chemical reactions. Next on the list, liquefied gas carriers. The two main types are LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, and LNG, liquefied natural gas carriers. Let's talk about LPG first. Petroleum gas products such as propane and butane and mixtures of both are categorized as LPG. Its most important property is that it is suitable for transport when pressurized into liquid form. But there are certain conditions specifically related to pressure and temperature that need to be maintained when transporting LPG. To put it simply, the gas should either be pressurized at ambient temperature or fully refrigerated down to its boiling point, which ranges from -30 to -48 degrees Celsius, or semi-refrigerated to a reduced temperature and then pressurized. LPG carriers are designed to meet those conditions and safely transport the gas as cargo. Natural gas, on the other hand, that has been purified of sulfur and carbon dioxide and then cooled down into a liquid form, is called liquefied natural gas. Basically, after removal of impurities, it is cooled down to cryogenic temperatures, down to its boiling point of -165 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure. LNG in this condition is liquid methane. The most distinctive feature of LNG carriers are its tanks. Although there are other tank designs like the membranes, perhaps the most popular tank design used for LNG is the spherical tank. There are a few subtypes of gas carriers, and sometimes the designs for LNG and LPG may overlap, particularly on the type of tanks. In any case, these are highly specialized ships, so maybe a future episode will be much more appropriate for a detailed discussion. There are a few more types of cargo ships that are still in use, but there aren't so many of them these days. However, they are still worth mentioning. First, we have the reefers, or the refrigerated ships. These are ships that have refrigerated cargo holds and are still quite popular in areas that export massive amounts of perishable goods like fruit or vegetables. Then you have the livestock ships. As you can probably guess, they are designed to transport animals, particularly livestock like cattle, sheep, goats. Again, they are still popular in areas that export hundreds or even thousands of livestock. We also have the heavy lifters. These are ships that specialize in transporting extremely large and irregularly shaped cargo. You know, the kind of cargo that is so large and can't be dismantled that it won't fit inside the cargo holds. Lastly, we have the general cargo ships. At first glance, they are basically identical to bulk carriers, but usually smaller in size. They are designed to carry a wide variety of cargo from bulk solids to pallets, boxes, and even freight containers. And their smaller size allows them to service ports in shallow areas while their cargo cranes allow them to load or unload cargo in remote areas that have no facilities. And there you have it. These are the most common cargo ships that still operate around the world these days. Like I said earlier, this video will just give an overview. I'll be making future episodes which will dive further and discuss each ship type in detail. I really hope you liked this episode. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next one.